Hi everyone, Silver Contrail here. Today, I'm bringing you something totally different. This is an app that I've developed over the last couple of months called TCG Rulette. It's available now in the Google Play Store, and what it lets you do is it lets you play out the randomized dueling that you might have seen or maybe even played before at YCS events in the form of Pegasus Challenge, or the Pegasus Challenge. And basically, what those side events were is Darren Dustin, the voice of Maximilian Pegasus, would come out and he would issue random rules during this small side event, casual-ish tournament. And he would say things like, destroy all monsters on the field, or if you have a toon monster in your deck, you can summon it. Just crazy, zany rules. One of my favorites was we had to start drawing cards from our side deck at one point. Or we had to flip our extra decks face up. Anyways, I wanted to bring that to everyday dueling, like the ability to do that without having your own Darren Dustin come in and randomly read off rules. And the simplest way I could think to do that was to build an app for it. And that's exactly what TCG Roulette's designed to do. There's two game modes here. The first one is an instant mode, and this just lets you generate a random rule off of a list. So you'll write a list, and then you can just fire off random rules off that list. This is really useful if you want to have a rule come up always during the standby phase. Like at the start of each standby phase, we'll get a random rule. But my favorite feature here is the timer mode. And what the timer mode does is it still gives you that random rule, but that random rule pops up at a certain interval, and you don't quite know exactly when it's going to show up. That's where that timer range in seconds come in. So right now, you'll get a random rule between 1 minute and 2 minutes. That's a little short, and for demonstration purposes, I'm going to short it up even further by bringing it between 1 second and 10 seconds. Now, I could get a rule at 2 seconds. I could get a rule at 9 seconds, right? Somewhere in between there. And each new rule will have a different random time. So it's hard to expect when that new rule is coming in. So if you hit play game, hit start game, the roulette wheel goes ahead and spins, and we'll get a random rule. And there you go. So this screen will pop up when the rule is ready. I think one of the best practices you could do is to tell both players, hey, when this rule shows up, try to stop whatever you're doing, right? Resolve whatever chain you are, get to an open state of the duel, and then when both players are ready, tap to reveal the rule. So this one happens to be each player may banish a copy of Crystron Halquiferbax, however you say this thing's name, I'll just call it Halk, from their opponent's graveyard. If they do, their opponent must banish all cards they control. So this one is designed as sort of like almost like tongue-in-cheek to punish meta players and be like, well, if you are playing Halk, this is the comeback rule, right? Well, of course, we can hit resume game, and it will generate another rule, again, in another random interval based on the settings that we've put out here. This one's a little longer, maybe more towards 7 or 8 seconds. Tap to reveal a rule. Turn player may draw up to 3 cards, but their opponent may draw twice as many. So I kind of like the idea of having rules in here, too, that have some trade-offs and some interactions. They're not just like, destroy all monsters in the field every single time, or destroy all spells and traps. So here's one where the turn player gets the option to draw 3 cards, or excuse me, up to 3 cards. But the more cards they draw, the more cards their opponent can draw too. So there's a really interesting sort of like back and forth. Do you draw more cards to try to get your combo off? If you do, your opponent might draw into hand traps to stop you. So whenever you're done, you can hit stop game. The really cool thing about this is that it will give you a vibration alert and an alert outside of the app when your rule is ready. All right, so let's talk about actually making rules. So if we go to our view and create lists, we can see that there are 4 slots for rule lists. There's also this text IO at the bottom. That's a premium feature that allows you to sort of take copy and pasted text and put it into a rule list or export your rule list. Another aspect of the premium side of this app is that by default you're given 15 rules per list. So at max you'll have 15 rules for every single list. If you do jump on the premium option, you can get up to 40. So in here, of course, you have all of your rule options, your rules in this list 1. And yeah, I mean, you can really write whatever you want in here. Anything's fine. You hit save list, You go back. There you go. You're back at the rule list here. You can also rename these. So you can maybe name your first one like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example. And if you wanted your second one to be for Magic or for Pokemon, this app is or is game agnostic. You can use this for anything theoretically. I mean, you can use it for drinking games if you wanted to. I built it specifically for TCGs in mind, but there's no reason you couldn't use it for other things. So like I said, you have your other rule list here. We could use the text IO to do some fun stuff. If we go to, for example, rule list 1, if I want to create a text version of this app or this list, I simply hit create rule list, and it takes all the rule lists and it instantly puts them into a text format. And then if I just hit select all, I can copy or I can cut. And there we go. So if I then go to, let's say, rule list 3, and I'm just going to show you as an example, I'm just going to go type in rule 1, semicolon, oops, sorry, there we go, semicolon, and then rule 2, semicolon, and we'll copy that text to the list. So if we go to rule 3, we can see that it now has the rule 1 and rule 2 that we copied from it. So you can copy, you can paste. The one thing you want to make sure you do, of course, is that you have a semicolon at the end of each rule. That's how it sort of segments them out and figures out where each rule is. And that's basically it. That's the app. So again, like I said, there is a $2 premium version, or sorry, $2 in-app purchase where you can get those extra rules per list and also that text-based input and output. If you click on this question mark here, it'll show you some more information about how to actually use the app, which is basically just what I showed you there. And then, yeah, real quick, I'll just show you the credit screen. I built this app for fun because I thought it would be something that I would use, and hopefully you guys find it fun as well. Huge shout out to everyone who's been super helpful testing. There's like so many people who have been helpful here. Team APS, of course, did the spotlight recently. The icon for the app and the roulette wheel art was done by Naomi. And yeah, if you have any questions, any kind of concerns, any bug reports in particular, definitely let me know either on here or on Twitter. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, this is the first time I've made an app, and it's been a lot of fun. And honestly, I can't wait to start working on the next one. So thank you for watching, and until next time then.